I say that while all men are looking for God, there are two kinds of men that God is always looking for. There are two kinds of men that God is always looking for. John chapter 4 verse 23 speaks of one of those kinds of men, and they are called true worshippers. Ezekiel 22 verse 30. Let's read that one. And I sought for a man among them that should make up the hedge and stand in the gap before me for the land, that I should not destroy it. It was God who said he sought for. What was his final verdict? I found none. And so because I found none who will stand in the gap and avert the destruction that was about to happen, look at what happened eventually. 31. Therefore have I poured out mine indignation upon them. I have consumed them with the fire of my wrath. Their own way have I recompensed upon their heads, saith the Lord. So these guys have done something. So I've given you one. The other kinds of people that God is looking for are intercessors. These guys, what they had done justified what God was going to, what was going to come on them. He referred to it as their own ways. They had messed up. And so what was going to come on them was destruction. But you see, God, being intentional and deliberate, didn't want to destroy them. So God was looking for an excuse to avert the evil that was coming on them. So before the evil will come, what he did was he went amongst the people. He looked for a man. He searched for who will stand in the gap for his people, and he didn't find. I can imagine what these people were saying at this time. That after everything had happened, they would be like, where is God? How will God allow such kinds of things to happen to us? Meanwhile, before they said, where is God? God had come into the time and he's saying, where is man? Remember the children of Israel? When they messed up and God was going to destroy all of them. Over 2 million people. Moses came and stood and said, God, you can't do it. If you do this kind of thing, what will people say? You know what Moses now said? He said, in fact, if this is what you want to do, take my name out of your book. The integrity of God will not allow him to do that thing. Over 2 million people were saved because one man had something with God and he said, take my name out of your book. And God said, you are taking this thing too far, let's leave it. Then one day, this same, they wanted to drink water. They were already very angry. They had said all kinds of things. And Moses now got in, everything. They had stirred up his anger. And Moses now went. When God said to him, go to that rock and speak to it. Moses went there, and out of anger, Moses struck it twice. God now came to him and said, you see this thing you have done? Because you did not hallow me before the people, I will show you the promised land. Guess what? When Moses came and looked at over 2 million people and told them that, brethren, God had come to me and God has said, not enter into the promised land with all of you. So you people can just go. I would only see it, but I can't go in with you. Over 2 million people, there was nobody. Not one person. We say, let's go and seek the face of God for this man. Not one person. We say, can we hold a prayer meeting for Moses and tell God to avert this that he has spoken concerning this man? Over 2 million people. So when God is saying, I sought for a man, it's because intercessors are endangered species. They're endangered species. God is looking for them all around. All around. When the old covenant was going to wrap up, and in between the old covenant and the new, 400 years God didn't speak, and services were still going on, people were still preaching. Then a generation came when God found a man called Simeon. And that man began to walk with God intentionally to build something with God. God had found one. God found another one called Hannah. Hannah spent over 85 years in the temple, ministering to the Lord in prayer and fasting, interceding, because there's something God was about to do. Even though God had said it, Hannah, when we calculated Hannah's age, about the time when Jesus came, Hannah would have been 100 and something years. When the husband died, she was about 20 something. Add 85 to it. So from when God spoke to her and she began to minister, to him in the temple, it was over 80 years. When God found this Simeon, you know what God did to him? Because God needed an intercessor who would be on ground to pray until something happens. God came and said, Simeon, now that I have found you, there's one thing I want to tell you. You can't die. You can't die. You can't die. Because if you go, I will be looking for another man who will stand in the gap to prepare the way for what I'm about to do. I will preserve your life until the salvation of Israel comes. Because intercessors are endangered species. I'm ending my service in this question. Are you the one who is to come? Or should we wait for another? Our generation, God is looking for men. If my people. You notice he said if, because it's a condition. If my people who are called by my name will humble themselves and pray. Many things will change if we pray. Many things will happen if God finds men who will stand in the gap. Are you the one who is to come? Heaven is asking, or should we wait for another? There are many people who are talking, but we have very few intercessors. You want to say, Lord, if you're looking for a man to use to stand in the gap, if you're looking for a man that you will use as an excuse to invade territories, I want to be that excuse that you will find to invade my city. In a generation where everybody wants to live for themselves, I want to live for you. There's a recruitment process going on. Lord, I want to be that excuse that you will use to invade, that you will use to invade, that you will use to invade. You are looking for a head upon whom your hand will rest. Make me that one.